Welcome to Owl the Storyteller. Why do so many people find the Second Bustle Era so fascinating? The Second Bustle Era, from 1881 to 1889, was a period of significant change in Victorian fashion. This era saw the resurgence of the bustle, a padded undergarment that accentuated the feminine silhouette. Unlike the first bustle, this version was more pronounced, creating a fuller rear silhouette. The era was marked by luxurious fabrics, intricate embellishments, and a renewed fascination with color. Colors in clothing communicated social standing, occupation, and emotional state. Understanding the nuances of color during this era offers invaluable insights into the history of fashion and its influence on contemporary styles. One of the most significant developments that shaped the color palette of the Second Bustle Era was the advent of synthetic dyes. Prior to this period, natural dyes derived from plants, insects, and minerals were the primary source of color for textiles. However, these natural dyes were often expensive, time-consuming to produce, and limited in their color range. The discovery of synthetic dyes in the mid-19th century revolutionized the textile industry. Chemists, notably William Henry Perkin with his accidental discovery of Mauveine in 1856, unlocked a spectrum of new colors that were previously unattainable. These synthetic dyes were cheaper, easier to produce, and offered a wider range of hues, forever changing the landscape of fashion. The availability of affordable, vibrant synthetic dyes democratized fashion to some extent. Previously, certain colors, like the coveted Tyrian purple, were attainable only by the very wealthy. With synthetic dyes, even those with modest incomes could afford to wear fashionable colors, blurring the lines of social distinction. Color during the Second Bustle Era was more than just an aesthetic choice. It was a language unto itself, imbued with symbolism and societal meaning. Each hue carried specific connotations that informed how individuals were perceived and how they presented themselves to the world. For instance, green, once associated with nature and fertility, took on negative connotations in the Victorian era, becoming linked with illness and even death. This association stemmed from the arsenic used in some green dyes of the time, which could be toxic. Conversely, blue, often associated with calmness and stability, became a popular choice for everyday wear. It symbolized trustworthiness and dependability, making it a suitable color for both men's and women's attire. A spectrum of style color categories and their significance. To further understand the complexities of color in the Second Bustle Era, it is helpful to categorize the prevalent hues. Jewel tones, rich, opulent colors like emerald green, sapphire blue, and ruby red were favored by the upper classes. These colors, often achieved through the new synthetic dyes, projected an air of luxury and sophistication. Dark and neutral tones, black, brown, grey, and navy were staples for everyday wear, particularly for men and working-class individuals. These colors were practical, durable, and less likely to show dirt or wear. Soft pastels, delicate shades like lavender, peach, and pale pink gained popularity, particularly for women's evening wear. These colors evoked femininity, romance, and refinement. Mourning colors. Black was the customary color of mourning, worn for extended periods following the death of a loved one. Shades of grey and mauve were also deemed appropriate for mourning attire. These color categories, while not rigid, illustrate how color choices were often dictated by social norms and expectations. Artistic influences. From painting to fashion. The artistic movements of the late 19th century had a profound influence on the colors and aesthetics of the Second Bustle Era. The Pre-Raphaelites, with their romantic depictions of medieval and Arthurian legends, favored a palette of rich jewel-toned colors and flowing silhouettes. The aesthetic movement, on the other hand, rejected Victorian materialism and embraced beauty for beauty's sake. This movement favored muted, earthy tones, such as olive green, peacock blue, and burnt orange, often in combination with intricate patterns and textures. These artistic influences extended beyond color palettes to encompass silhouettes, embellishments, and overall aesthetic sensibilities. The Second Bustle Era became a melting pot of artistic ideas, reflecting a society grappling with changing ideals of beauty, morality, and social reform. Symbolism in dress more than meets the eye. The symbolism of colour extended to specific garments and accessories, adding further layers of meaning to Victorian attire. For women, gloves were an indispensable accessory, and their colour conveyed subtle messages. White gloves, for instance, signified purity and were de rigueur for formal occasions. Men's fashion, while less varied than women's, also employed colour to communicate social standing and occupation. A man's profession often dictated his attire, with businessmen favouring dark suits and top hats, while artists and writers might adopt a more bohemian style. The colour and style of clothing served as visual cues, allowing Victorians to quickly assess an individual's social standing, occupation, and even their character. In an era where social hierarchy and decorum were paramount, these visual cues played a crucial role in navigating the complexities of social interaction. Victorian echoes in modern fashion. The study of colour in the Second Bustle Era offers valuable lessons for contemporary fashion students and designers. By understanding the historical context, technological innovations and societal influences that shaped Victorian fashion, we gain a deeper appreciation for the power of colour to communicate and inspire. The echoes of Victorian fashion can still be seen on today's runways and in contemporary street style. From the resurgence of romantic lace and ruffles to the enduring popularity of jewel-toned colours, the influence of the Victorian era continues to shape our sartorial choices. By studying the past, fashion students and designers can draw inspiration from historical styles, reinterpreting and reimagining them for a modern audience. The colours, textures and silhouettes of the Second Bustle Era, once symbols of Victorian society, continue to captivate and inspire, demonstrating the timeless allure of fashion history. Don't forget to like and subscribe for supporting us.